In this video, let's show you today about how to find simpler percentages like 5%, 10%, 15%, 20%, 25%, so on, without using calculator. Let's start off. So in this one, let's do first this one. Let's pick a number. Let's say pick 240. How will you find 10%? 10% means you divide by 10. So 10% of 240 will be you dividing 240 by 10. So that will give you 24. That's 10% done. Let's now find 5%. We need to look at the link between 10% and 5%. 5% is half of that, so divide by 2. That means we can divide the answer by 2 as well. That gives you 12. Once you've done 10% and 5%, now let's find out 15%. If I add 10% and 5%, that gives me 15%. That means I can add 24 and 12. Because 24 is 10%, 5% is 12, so add them answers together, that gave me 36. Because 10% is 24, 5% is 12, if I add them together, that gave me 36. Let's find out now 20%. So 20% of 240. We can do many different ways this one. So for example, if you pick up 10% first, which is 24, I can double it. Because 10% double will be 24. So that gave me 48. Somebody might say, I don't want to do that way. I can do 15% and 5% together. That also gives you 48. It doesn't matter which method you use as long as you think logically and can make the percentage, and then you add those answers together, it gives you the answer. Let's find out 25%. 25%, if I add 20% and 5% together, so let's say 20% is 48. 5% is 12. Add them together, they give you 25%, that's 60. That's my answer. The other method there as well. 25% means as a fraction is a quarter. And quarter of 240 will be 60, because how many 4 makes 24 is 6, add a 0. So that gives you 60. Let's find out 30%. You can double 15%, they give you 30%. So that will be 72. Or you can add 25% and 5% together, which gives you 72 again. It depends on how you want to work it out. Then comes here 50%. 50% again, you can do many different ways. You can double 25%, which is 120, you can double 60. Or you can work out 10%, which is 24, and you double it. So times by 5, they give you 120. So it depends how you want to work it out. Let's do 75%. So if I add my 50% and 25% together, which is 120 and 60, that gave me 180. So you can make lots of combinations and try to work it out. It is useful in a paper when you can't use calculator. Let's do the other one. This time, more quickly and more percentages. Let me draw this diagram first. Let's just pick this time, pick a number, let's say 360. Let's find 10%. As we discussed last time, 10% means divide by 10. It gave me 36, simply. I want to write less this time, so otherwise the diagram get too much congested. This one, 5%. 5% will be half it, which is 18. 10%, 36, half is 18, which is half of 36. Let's now work out 20%. 20% will be double 36, which is 72. Let's do 30%. 20% and 10% together, that give you 30%. So 6 plus 2 is 8, 108. Let's do 50%, which means half. Half of 360 is 180. Or you can do 36 times 5, 180 as well. The next one is, let's this time work out 1% as well. 1% means divide by 100. Why divide by 100? Because 10% is 10 out of 100. 1% is 1 out of 100. That means divide by 100. So 360 divide by 100. That gave me 3.6 or 60, your choice. So 3.60 or 3.6. Now let's find out 90%. Then here 10% is 36. So 36 times 9 give me 90%. 9 times 5 is 54. Sorry, 9 times 6 is 54. 5 carry over. 9 times 3 is 27. 27 plus 5 is 32. So 324. 9 times 6, 54. 5 carry over. 27 plus 5, 32. Now 324. Let's find out 91%. What do? We add them together. They give you answer here. So 324.0 plus 3.6. So 6 adds 0 is 6. Decimal 7, 2, 3. That is your 327.6 is your 91%. You have to be careful here when you're doing the question with money, for example. So then you have to write, if it's like if they ask you find 91% of 360 pounds, then you might lose 1 mark if you give the answer as 327.6, for example. Because in money, you put pound sign here, you can't leave only 1 number behind decimal. You have to write 2 numbers behind decimal, like this. Let's do one word problem. If we say reduce 380 by 5% without using calculator. So what do we do first? We can do 10% of 380, which is 38. 5% of 380, half it is 19. Because half here and half here. Here you divide by 10. 10%, 10 out of 100. Then now because it's reduced, if we're reducing it, we're making it smaller. So 380 take away 19. 10 take away 9 is 1. Then 7 take 1 is 6. So 361 will be your answer. Hopefully you learned how to find out simple percentages. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it and would like to watch more such videos, please subscribe to this channel by clicking the subscribe button below and press the bell icon.